Die Mad Max Filmtrilogie von George Miller, die zählt zu den geilsten Actionserien der 80er Jahre und die Auswirkungen dieses coolen Endzeit-Imperiums, die sind bis heute noch spürbar. Spiele wie zum Beispiel Fallout oder Borderlands, die ziehen ganz klar ihre Inspiration aus der Filmserie, die Mel Gibson zum absoluten Superstar gemacht haben. Genug der Vorrede, jetzt kommt nämlich ein richtig geiles Spiel. Die Open-World-Entwickler Avalanche, die haben das Ganze in der Mache und ich habe die Ehre gehabt, auf der E3 ein bisschen mit denen zu reden.
We're obviously hugely proud to have the franchise and been working on it. It's been a long time coming for us. We wanted to work with it for a long time. So Mad Max is a third-person action title, obviously in Avalanche style. It'll be a massive open-world game. And the player takes on the role of Max, and he'll have to survive his way through the wasteland.
In the not-too-distant future, there will only be madmen and the main force patrol. Max is a main force officer, trying to protect his family and stay alive. Mad Max, the maximum force of the future.
Mad Max, the franchise, or Mad Max, the universe, is basically, I would say it's the granddaddy of post-apocalyptic worlds, and a lot of games and films have taken inspiration from it in the past. So some apocalyptic event happened, and most of the land has turned into a desert-style environment. And part of that is a dried-out seabed, so this is one area where we set the game. And the player obviously takes on the role as Max, and he has to survive in that environment. For those familiar with the franchise, you know, Max has this trusty Interceptor, his iconic car. And early in our game, that Interceptor is taken from him. He loses it to a bunch of war boys, and he's stranded in the desert and comes across a mechanic who's also gotten into a spot of trouble there. So the two of them align themselves and help each other out, and the mechanic Chumbucket agrees to help Max and build his iconic car for him, or a new iconic car for him.
Won't somebody tell me an answer if you can?
From the start, we knew it had to do with cars. I mean, that's one big thing of the franchise, and it's all, if you're familiar with the franchise, it's all about customizing vehicles. You know, they don't look like regular cars anymore. There's a lot of armor attached to them, rammers attached to them, different weapons attached to them, and that's what makes our game unique and special in that regard. Is every single upgrade, and there is a lot of them, will affect the car in one way or another. So you really mix and match the upgrades as to what your driving style is, and the same goes for the weapons. You can ram cars, you can use a harpoon, you can use your iconic shotgun, and then it depends on you how you approach each car combat scenario, and no scenario is ever going to play twice, is ever going to play the same twice, basically. We definitely aim to create a variety of options for you in the missions as well. I mean, narrative missions in an open world environment doesn't necessarily mean we now switch to a more linear approach. We definitely give the player different options on how to approach certain problems to certain areas in a mission, and a lot of our missions are actually set in the open world environment.
Actually, I was missing Mel Gibson. Where is he?
Well, since we're a standalone game, we are not really tied to any movie at all or to any story at all. We really wanted to get our own Max, our own take on Max, and we felt that if you tie it to an existing character, there's always going to be certain preconceptions, and we really didn't want that. We wanted to be unburdened. We want people to experience the game that we want to make, and then hopefully like the game that we want to make.
Wir bekamen ihn, einen Mann namens Max.
We're not only launching on next gen, we're launching on current gen as well as the PC. And our core mechanics, our gameplay mechanics, are exactly the same on every platform. We don't optimize gameplay elements necessarily for next gen. We focus on what is the most fun for the player to work with, and the car combat will work pretty much exactly the same on current as well as next gen. I think an important lesson from any open world game is to create the right amount of gameplay density. It's all nice and good if you build beautiful worlds, which we obviously do, but it's also important to give the player something fun to do and a varied enough gameplay experience all the way through. So what we're trying to do is give the player points of interest in the distance. So he always have something on the horizon to aim for. And it's like, you know, wondering what it could be and wanting to drive there and explore that. We definitely aim to create variety. Every single area in our game will have certain thematic regions where the player instinctively knows, just by looking at certain things, yes, this is where I am, I know exactly where I am, I know exactly where I have to go.
Please, kill me. Then kill me.
By now there are a couple of open world games. This is more or less similar perhaps to Mad Max or not. Which aspect of the game makes Mad Max really stand out?
I think obviously apart from the fact that it is an iconic license and it's not something that takes inspiration from Mad Max, it is Mad Max. I think what's going to make our game stand out is just the variety and choice on how to approach the game and what to do in the game. This is something we're known for from Just Cause and other games we've done. The player is given a set of tools in the game, and however he or she uses those tools is entirely up to them.
Don't go, please, please, don't leave me here.
Entwickler, die an coolen Projekten arbeiten, die haben wir ja relativ häufig bei Vorzocker mal vor Mikrofonen. Deswegen würde ich sagen, schaut einfach mal rein. Vielleicht sind ja Entwickler und Spiele dabei, für die ihr euch interessiert.